You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. How you doing, ugly chihuahuas? This is another episode of Between Nerds, 84, by the way. Welcome. This is your co-host Aldo Mendez and my other co-host Drew Elias. What's up, man?
Hi everybody. Drew Philip Elias, co-host of Between Nerds podcast here. I am said ugly chihuahua. It's not my fault.
And you guys is too. You guys are ugly chihuahuas.
You guys too. We do have some news at the beginning of this episode. We were recording this episode February 28th. Aldo and I, as your nerd fathers, are very disappointed in you guys, our nerd audience, the nerd children, because during the month of February, no one used the hashtag.
No one did.
Absolutely no one did.
And, I mean, we would have loved to be... we always would love to see high numbers on the retweets, comments, and likes. And the likes is like the easiest one we ask you for.
Absolutely. It just has to be coming from a tweet that's like not the Between Nerds Twitter.
Yeah.
So like literally nobody used hashtag Nerds for Black Leadership. So we don't have a donation to make for
we just buy ourselves something now.
For El Paso Young Black Leaders. Well, maybe we'll just gift ourselves something since y'all want to be.
Because we tried.
But if you guys want to make it up to us, please use hashtag Nerds for Refugees. That is NERDS FORREF UGEES, an original tweet, Instagram post, or YouTube comment to be entered into our March giveaway. For every like and retweet, we will be donating to the Hope Border Institute. They help advance justice and human rights on the borderland and help refugees. So what me and Aldo were thinking is there's obviously a lot going on in the world right now, right? Everyone knows that. And we wanted to do something that was more focused on Ukraine and the crisis that's going on, especially like the worst part about it is like the loss to human life or people losing their homes that just wanted to live their average lives. You know what I mean?
Not be invaded by
fucking assholes in Russia.
Fascists, yeah.
Yeah, by fucking fascists. But we also... this might sound a little mean, but we couldn't do anything too tailored towards Ukrainian refugees because we're not entirely sure if Ukraine's going to be a place in 4 weeks. And we also wanted to... We also try to keep it El Paso focused. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. We try to look for Ukrainian, fun here in El Paso. Humanitarian help here for the thing that's happening in the Ukraine. But it was kind of tied in with the Catholic Church, and you guys know how we feel about the Catholic Church. So.
We're trying to be non-affiliate.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? El Paso gets a lot of refugees no matter what, especially like because we live so close to Fort Bliss, we share a community. After the fall of Afghanistan, we got a lot of Afghani refugees. We have a lot of Central American, Southern American refugees that are trying to make a life for themselves in the El Paso area. So I think, what we think is the safest bet is something like the Hope Border Institute, which is kind of helping all refugees. But please keep watching the news. Don't fucking buy any Russian vodka. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, don't get fucked up on vodka. And it sucks, man. Do you think China's gonna do anything about Taiwan? That seems scary. If I was from Taiwan, I'll be scared. Yeah,
if I was to, I was telling Karen this flat out, like the night Ukraine invaded, or like the day of, when the order was given, but like before the night that they actually invaded. China was giving official statements. Like people were asking them, because the Olympics were still going on too. Like the Chinese ambassador for the Olympics, it was in Beijing, was asking about Russia, and they were like, "No, we condemn that. That's a human rights violation. That's bullshit." And then they ask him, "Okay, then what about Taiwan?" And they're like, "That's completely different." Like, like Taiwan is basically China. Like we deserve to take over Taiwan. And I'm like, oh my god, like it's the same, but. The weird part for me is yesterday, Sunday, China announced that they're going to start sanctioning Russia. So I'm like, okay, maybe they do give a shit. But then we saw what China did to Hong Kong, just like a very swift takeover of like what was supposed to be an autonomous city, like on the Chinese mainland, and that's so fucked. And like Taiwan, that's a lot of people. It's like it's a more condensed island nation than Ukraine is. Like Ukraine's the second largest country in Europe by landmass, right?
Yeah. I think Taiwan is like within the top 5 or most populated or some shit, right?
Of population density. Like
okay.
they're compacted in there. You know what I mean? So if war happened in Taiwan, a lot more people would die a lot more quickly.
Fuck, dude, it's all fucked.
And today, Russian propaganda TV was saying that they're going to start posting nukes up in Belarus. And like I think Belarus has been a Russian puppet state since 2004 anyways, right? But oh my god, it's spiraling a little bit. But like shout out to Ukraine, shout out to Volodymyr Zelensky. Biggest balls on the fucking planet. That man is a fucking certified badass. Like the president of Ukraine, he has been given multiple opportunities to evacuate the country. He's on the top priority of the Russian hit list. They want him out. They want him dead. And they're basically the Russian military is convinced if they take out Zelensky, then like everything else will just fall. And he does not give a shit. He is like, I am defending my home. I'm defending my people. What was that quote that everyone was talking about Saturday? It's like, I don't need a ride.
Yeah, I need ammo.
I need ammo.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ.
It's fucking crazy, too, because, I mean, I don't know if he showed up to the talks that they were having, like, earlier today.
He didn't show up.
Yeah, good.
But a delegation did show up to the Belarusian-Ukrainian border.
That's how you get poisoned, especially by Russia.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So why would you? Yeah, fuck that.
But it doesn't... No ceasefire was agreed to. The Russian military has basically started openly committing war crimes in the second biggest city in Ukraine, the college town. I already forgot the name, and it's just bombing like residential districts and like neighborhoods now. There was all those TikToks of like the apartment buildings that had like missiles gone through them. It's bad. It's real bad.
Crazy, brother. But please follow us on any social media.
And please use the hashtag.
And please use hashtag, yes.
Nerds for Refugees, please.
And use that hashtag. And you guys will get into the giveaway if you use it on your original tweets.
Even if you're in Ireland, we will send you some cool anime shit if you use the hashtag in original tweet, Instagram post, or YouTube comment. Like, we're about it, bro. We'll spend the $40-$50 to get that shit tracked there.
And all we ask is for a picture.
All we ask is for a picture.
That's it.
The last two haven't.
Yeah, the last two haven't. So we are here, episode of 84. Man, I was going through all the anime we have watched. We have like 93 things that we have watched.
Jesus Christ.
Is there?
But see, and then like I go whenever somebody asks my opinion on an anime, or I'm like, did I watch that? I can't remember like our discussion on that. I'll go through our episode list, and like I feel like when I'm going through it, I'm like, wow, it doesn't actually seem like that much. When I'm actually reading them and like going through them, I'm like, that doesn't actually feel like that much. But at the same time, there's only so many hours in a fucking week. Like we could not be watching anime at a quicker pace than we do.
You spend 40 of those working.
Exactly. We literally could not be watching anime at a quicker pace than we do. And it's just, well, anyways, what are we talking about? This week, this episode on Toradora, the 2008 smash hit produced by JC Staff is the final episode for our February Valentine's themed romance rom-com-y month of anime watching. Our previous watches were season 1 of Violet Evergarden plus the OVA.
We need to watch the movie.
We do need to watch the movie.
And by the way, big shout out to Miss Rachel for putting out that cool tweet she put out the other day.
Rachel Eves, friend of the pod.
Yeah.
She supports us in our endeavors, and we support her in whatever she's doing. And what did we watch week 2? We watched
Horimiya?
No, that was last week. Wow, I can't even remember what we watched the week before. Whatever, it'll come.
The week before what? Evergarden?
No, yeah, the weekend after Evergarden, the weekend before Horimiya was.
Fuck, dude. You missed me with that one.
I can't even remember either. Anyways, and then last week we watched Horimiya, which was the winner of basically every anime award from this season for Best Romance Anime. Came out last
Miss
year.
Kobayashi.
Oh, Miss Kobayashi season 2. Duh. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is tying the knot on that. And I'll present you the question, Mr. Aldo Mendez. I haven't asked it in a while. I've not asked this in a while. In simple terms, or paint me a broad brush, what is Toradora, the anime?
Okay. A broad brush of Toradora. Honestly, man, in the same breath, we can talk about Horimiya.
Okay.
You know, it is. So in our conversation on Horimiya, we're talking about like, I wish I would have like marinated more there with the characters. I wish I would have had more substance to the stories. We literally got a beginning and an end of this. Toradora, in the other hand, feels a little too flushed out.
It does and it doesn't.
It does and it doesn't. But
Right.
sometimes, like, they stretch out stories that don't really matter at the end.
For me, it I kind of agree, but then I don't agree because I agree with you for like 90% of it. Don't get me wrong, because like it's 20 what like it's an odd number. It's like 26 or 27 episodes. 25 episodes. It feels like 18 episodes kind of don't matter, but then like the last 5 hit, bro.
Yes.
Last 5 fucking hit.
And the only reason those last 5 episodes hit at the end is because you've already gone through the past 20 episodes of that.
You live through the mundane with them. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Which Toradora, Horimiya was the opposite, because it's like so quick. It's like, let me just breathe with these characters for like 5 fucking seconds, please.
Yeah, and honestly, the payout that I got from those last 5 episodes with Toradora are good. I was glad I got to interact with them, be with the characters for like 20 episodes, and then get those last 5 episodes, right? But I feel like I didn't need a lot of that. It could have been maybe 22 episodes.
It's because I think
I watched this anime like in the span of like a night and 2 days.
So, but you were focused then. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, you weren't watching this passively in the background during the week. Like, you binged this shit. You sat there and were like, I got you. You're in my sights, right? Like, some background on Toradora, it is the 18th most popular anime on my anime list. In terms of ranking, it's 407. That's a big fucking gap, right? Toradora is the most popular romance anime ever. Ever. But you watch it, it feels dated. Like the jokes, the character designs, the writing is super dated.
And I feel like we can't talk about Toradora without having Hiromiya on the conversation.
Yeah, I was about to bring it up again too.
Because it might go through the whole fucking episode, you know, talking about Hiromiya and this shit, because and none of this shit. This shit's cool. And yeah, you're right. We talked about Horimiya being super crisp all the time. Like, it doesn't miss a second to just...
At the Anime Trending Awards yesterday, Horimiya won Best Character Modeling, which is something that I geek about all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm always just talking about character models.
But then Toradora has an animation style that is not...
It's not super old. It's not super modern.
Yeah, exactly. It's not hard on your eyes at all.
It seems fluid almost. Like,
yes.
a lot of the movements and like it looks like it's 2D. So it's like without CGI, the characters look really fluid in motion.
They have a couple of CGI moments there.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they have the parrot at one point. He
yeah.
seems like all CGI. The confetti or the shredded paper.
It's like transitional pieces that they won't like settle on.
Correct. And it's nothing crazy like that. But the character design with goddamn Taiga annoyed me.
You didn't like it? I thought you would like it. I don't know why.
It annoyed me. The character design, her personality, and her shortness doesn't run me right.
The character model or design I do not like at all is Minori, like the girl with the red hair, because she's got those ginormous like 90s anime eyes. That's the one that irritates me the most.
And that's funny because yeah, you do notice this big anime eyes and stuff like that, but it annoys me more on this little shortly designed high schooler.
She's one of the most popular waifus ever, bro.
I know, but like, what does that say about the nerds?
I have a what's the term? I have a petite girlfriend. I see the value in a character like this. I don't know, man.
Yeah, but like I don't know. I guess the way her character is written, it is very bratty, and I see that as like not mature.
She's a classic tsundere, like that real like easy, like mean, bad bitch. Fucking.
She has a sword and shit, bro.
She fights with with a practice katana. Like she's all of 4'9" and just beating the shit out of people and like bad attitude. But like she's super shy on the inside and like just really classic tsundere.
And having said that, the animation that she goes through, it's really my bad. The animation that she goes through is really cool. Like when you see her get mad, when you see her get do something funny or get embarrassed, something like that, it's really nice.
I alluded to this a little last week, but Toradora is a victim to the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. Because, like, after the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya came out, like, 2 years before this, everybody wanted to emulate Haruhi or do tsundere write-in characters. Everyone wanted to do rom-com with maybe some sci-fi write-ins. And it's like, I understand why this happened, but, like, all the tropes, all the gimmicks, all the character writing in this is so played. Like, you cannot... Toradora could never get another adaptation in modern anime. Because it's written too much into 2006, 2008. You know what I mean?
It's almost a timepiece.
Yeah, but like not a good one.
No, yeah. and you were talking about Minori. Minori reminds me of like one of your favorite characters in anime is here. Haruhi Suzumiya.
I love Haruhi.
I believe she's like a copy and paste kind of.
I don't. Well, Haruhi had a bad attitude too, though. She was a tsundere.
Yeah, but I feel like the way she is super like, yeah, let's do it, blah, blah, blah. Like, she's always like that. Like, it just reminded me.
Like, all the girls are kind of like different personalities of Haruhi Suzumiya.
Yes, exactly.
So, it's kind of a love pentagon is the main plot to this show, right? Yeah. So, we have our main couple, not couple, until, like, they're finally a couple at the end when we always knew they were going to be a couple. It's Taiga Aisaka and Ryuji Takasu. So, the gimmick here is that Taiga is really rich. But like she's basically almost an orphan. Like her family just lets her rent an apartment and live by herself, and she's just eating fucking corner store like candy and chips and food and cup ramen and bullshit.
And not cleaning.
And then we have they're also foils to each other. Like that opposites attract kind of story, right? Mm-hmm. Because Ryuji,
everybody's a foil of everybody here.
Yes, and it's kind of dope. It's kind of dope because Ryuji is broke as fuck. His mom is like a hostess at a bar, which isn't a bad thing. I'm not saying anything, but like she's a single mom. Tokyo's expensive. Like I get that. So like they live in very humble means. And the thing about Ryuji is she raised him right. As a single mom, like he's very about cleaning. He knows his way around the kitchen. He's always taking care of his mom when she gets home tired after work. Like he's a good guy, you know what I mean? But the gimmick with him is that his character design is he just has these really scary slanted
eyes.
Yeah, so everyone thinks he's like a thug or like that he's gonna beat them up. That's the gimmick.
And everybody has like anime eyes.
Yeah, and everyone else has anime eyes. But he has this ginormous crush on Minori Kushieda, who's the best friend of Taiga. But then Taiga has a crush on Ryuji's best friend, Yusaka.
The class president, who looks exactly like him, but with glasses.
But like with normal eyes.
Yeah, normal.
With normal eyes. So like, it's that's our square. But then halfway through the season, they just interject a third girl because, I don't know, because spice.
And even Ryuji, he was like, oh, I hate looking like a thug.
That's literally like his first piece of dialogue in episode 1.
Everybody hates me because they think I'm a thug.
Yeah, like the joke is everyone, whenever they see him, just like gives him their wallet and just runs away because he looks like he's gonna beat them up.
And for that, there's people saying that he robbed people, but he never did.
Right, like he always turns them in. Like he walks to the school and just like turns in the wallets. I don't know why I keep finding these wallets, but here you go. Doesn't take anything from them. He's a good guy.
And yeah, so it turns into this weird ass thing. Episode 1, they get introduced really quickly.
Well, the gimmick for the show, the plot of the show, is that Taiga and Ryuji are going to try to hook each other up with each other's best friends. That's the whole show. That's the whole show.
That's the hook that got me through the end.
Yeah?
That's the hook that got me through the end. I was like, man, they're going to end up together. They're obviously going to end up together.
Obviously, they were going to end up together.
And then there's instances where they're like, oh shit, they might not. Oh shit, they will. Oh shit, they might not. Oh shit, they will. And I'm like, ah!
Maybe it's because I grew up with this anime. You know what I mean? Because like I already, like I don't remember any of the details. Like I didn't remember any of the plot points. But I remember that they ended up together.
Because my girlfriend was passively like watching it.
Yeah.
But I will catch her like either taking care of baby and be like,
oh, she said what?
yeah.
It's so like throughout the thing, like Taiga and Ryuji like trying to do this plan together to trick each other's best friends into falling in love with each other. They're spending a lot of time together. To the point that like all the classmates already think they're dating by like episode 4. So then we have to deal with like 20 more episodes of them just being like, no, I don't like Taiga. No, I don't like Ryuji. No, I don't like Taiga. No, I don't like Ryuji. And just like, but they're basically like almost an old married couple by episode 2. Like she shows up to his apartment every meal to have a meal with him because he's always cooking and cleaning. Yeah. She like like they basically already live together. So in episode 1, the gimmick is it's the first day of class of second years, right? So what would be 11th grade for U.S. audiences. Ryuji has one friend who's the vice president at the time because everyone else is afraid of him because he looks like a thug, right? But the actual scariest person in the class is the 4'9" Taiga. And that night after the first day of school, he goes back in the classroom to get his book bag that he forgot. She jumps him and like beats the shit out of him with like a wooden fake practice katana sword, trying to get his backpack because she was confused on whose backpack that was. He gets home, finds a letter that was actually like written to be for Yusuke. Yusuka. I'm watching Yu Yu Hakusho. So for Yusuka, who she actually has a crush on. So she breaks into his apartment into the middle of the night, tries to beat the shit out of him again, like pops holes in his partitions with her little wooden katana sword, just for him to be like, look.
She comes in hot, dog.
Like bad. Like almost breaks like his forearm and he's trying to block like the sword. Like bad. Like she assaults the shit out of him. And is like knocking furniture over, knocking food over. But he even has to tell her like, hey, you fucked up even putting the letter inside of this envelope. You just put an empty envelope into my bag. Not only did you fuck up on whose bag it was, you forgot to put the actual love letter inside of it. So then to make her feel better, because she still wants to beat the shit out of him because she's so embarrassed because she's a tsundere, he pulls out like a whole box full of like weirdly obsessive things or like memorandums he has of Minori. And like Minori like barely knows he exists. Like he's just like that weirdo in the back of class. So again, it's already like a really, really juvenile like look at what love is, kind of.
Yeah, and the ways and the little gimmicks and the little plans, because he looks like a fucking, we're gonna do plans to get to get the other to like us, right? Sorry. To get the other one to like us.
Right.
And
so like they'll give each other the cheat codes. They'll be like, oh, he really likes this movie. He really likes this book. You should try to talk. He's going to be here after class.
She likes being scared. Or blah,
right.
Blah, blah. Yeah.
So it's stuff like that. And then so it's typical just high school stuff. Like I can't even think of like individual episodes just sitting here because it's just we get a beach scene. We get they go snowboarding,
swimming, the snowboarding one. I never seen that before. That looked cool.
I didn't even know. Honestly, just watching anime, I didn't know people snowboard in Japan.
Hey,
until you watched Toradora, I didn't even realize it.
Yeah, that was the first time I saw it. I was like, okay, that's cool. And we get a fucking like crazy ass character here. Was it Ami Kawashima, the model?
So
Yeah.
so like the latter end of the first half, like episode like 10 or 10, 11 or so, we meet Ami, who's Yusaka's like childhood best friend, right? And she, like you're saying, she's a model, but she ends up moving to like their distant like suburb of Tokyo, going to like their kind of out of the way school to get away from stalkers in the city. And
They
I
make
think
a very dramatic thing about it, too.
well, I think Ami's my favorite character because there's dialogue around her. Even when Minori talks about her, where she's like, she's the only one out of all of us that actually like participates in the adult world. Like she's, even though she's a bitch and a cunt and like has this fake ass personality, she's the only one that understands the world that the adults live in.
Yeah, to a point, because it was also a problem that she was like, I'm not really an adult.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Because she acts so adult. Everyone expects her to be that adult all the time, but at the same time, she's a fucking kid, right?
Yeah, it's like even Mr. Ryuji, he like sees her walking out of the grocery store with nothing but like instant food and like crap and shit like that. It's like, oh, what a kid.
And at that same time, like,
That was one of your favorite characters. I think that was the most annoying character for me because her personality is out of whack, son.
it's because if what I liked most about Horimiya is that even though it's about like same age kids, like 16, 17 years old, it had adult writing in it. Like it was written for adults with teenage characters. It's like Euphoria, right? Toradora, the only character that fits that mold is Ami because
She was a bitch, though.
she's a fucking, so like her very first character introduction, she gets like in a fight with Taiga because around Yusaka and around Ryuji, around boys, she has this very fake, airheaded kind of personality because she,
Oh, hi, sweetie.
yeah, she wants
How you
people to
doing?
like her because
Like stripper personality.
I don't know. I've never been to a strip club, Aldo.
Damn
I don't get that reference, bro. Still never been to a strip club. But as soon as the boys go to the restroom or whatever, she turns into a bitch and she's just like, "Hey, you stupid ugly cunt, Taiga."
We'll record next episode of the strip club.
We just gotta tell them to turn down the music.
Yes.
So the minute like the boys leave the room, like her real personality comes out. And she's like, "Why are you here, you stupid ugly little fucking palm top Taiga?" So the joke with Taiga, I don't know if it's like a mistranslation that they just kind of stuck with, but they call her the palm top tiger. So Taiga is Japanese-ish tiger, right? Okay, cool. I understand that bit. But like as opposed to calling her like hand-sized tiger, palm-sized tiger, they call her the fun-sized tiger. They call her palm top tiger. Like a tiger so small they can fit it on the top of your palm.
I just feel like the wording in Japanese accounts for like more of a like a
literal
sounding,
definition?
No, like a sounding, maybe like a something that starts with a k or a tiger. You know what I'm saying? So they wanted to make it like a.
It's alliteration.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. I don't know. I watched the dub this week. Nobody flame me, please.
No, I watched the dub too. By the way, crazy, like super corny dialogue that you said. That you said that a lot of fucking animes and being a product of 40 media, they try to emphasize on. And sometimes it's good, but sometimes it's just like.
I feel like when it wants to be serious, all of a sudden everyone learns how to act. I don't know what it is. When there's finally a serious moment, all the voice actors all of a sudden know how to act. But like 80% of the time, it's just like super dramatic anime speak from like the 2000s, right?
Crazy stuff.
And so that's Ami. But like honestly, Ami's my favorite personality-wise character, but I hate her character model, her character design, because she reminds me exactly of the character model of Kaname Chidori from Full Metal Panic.
Well, yeah, she reminds me of the NGE girl too.
Yeah.
Mikasa?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
was it Mikasa? No.
The the older lady, Misato. Yeah. So that's what I mean. She looks like every blue-haired like anime girl with bangs and like in like a ponytail. They all look like the exact same character.
It's just a trope fest.
Yeah.
Everywhere you look.
But the thing about Ami is that like. So we deal with like 9-10 episodes of like absolutely nothing happening in the anime. Like the first like 9-10 episodes before Ami's introduction are literally like oh, we gotta go to this place because Midori's gonna be here, and you can maybe talk to her and hook up with her, or
just them winging themselves into
just wingmanning the shit out of each other while every other
he likes this kind of tea. She works over there.
Yeah, she has this job tonight. We gotta go to this restaurant to go see Minori.
It's like he's the class president of the student council, blah blah blah, and all this bullshit, and that's what it is. And don't get me wrong, it's not bad. It's just nothing that we can talk to and try to make it fucking.
But that's like the point. But it doesn't make for good podcasting content.
We ran into a problem with this with Food Wars, and I feel like we have to give Food Wars season 2 a try again to see if we've learned anything from podcasting.
Honestly, that was really hard. That was really early on too. I think that was in episode 10 or something.
Mm-hmm. But right here, having 86 episodes on our podcast talking about anime. It's something that I cannot put into words of what it was, but it's just little help here and there.
I feel like the first bit of real spice, real spice, is episode 6, episode 7, where Yusuka basically turns.
Put a logo back, bro.
Turns down turns down Taiga.
Damn.
So it's so the first spicy bit happens around episode 6, episode 7.
Where you have the spiciness in the story, you mean?
Right. Yeah. So Yusuka isn't stupid. He's the smartest guy in the whole school. And he realizes that Taiga has a crush on him, right? And he kind of friend zones her. He's like the thing about all these declaration of loves up until episode 22, 23 is everyone gets turned down. Always. And it's never upfront. It's just kind of these childish, they're not mature enough to actually let somebody down.
Literally everybody got turned down.
Yeah, but they don't flat out say it. It's just always oh, I see you as a really cool friend. I'd be down to hang out with you more and get to know you a little better. It's stuff like that. You know what I mean?
It's terrible now that I think about it. Because you're right. Yeah, it's just a bunch of nope. Because nobody does end up together. Nobody does.
Yeah, they do. Taiga and Ryuji do. But the last scene of the last episode, Taiga and Ryuji end up together.
The last scene of the last episode, because in the last episode,
he finds her in the closet, in the classroom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, a little bit out of order. No, well, I'll go over it later. Hold on, I don't want to talk about that right now. So basically, Taiga gets friend zoned and is hella sad and even angrier, and won't even talk to Ryuji almost, because the subtext in Yusuka letting down Taiga is that he did originally like her. When the school year started, he liked her a lot, but she turned him down. Because the thing about Taiga is that she's so shy almost. Her defense mechanism is to be mean to people. So he kind of confessed to her and thought she was really cute or whatever. And she was just kind of get the fuck away from me, creep. And that made him sad. So now he wants nothing to do with her. But now it's the opposite, right? But then, he's kind of, it's kind of getting the best of both worlds a little bit. Because he's kind of I'm still down to hang out with you all the time and get to know you better. But no commitment, you're not my girl. But she jumps at the opportunity because she does like the guy and wants to get to know him better. But she's also really possessive of Ryuji. He cooks every meal for her. He takes 2 lunches to school to give one to her.
And to your point, I really honestly, I really like the character, how it was written, and the character design to Ryuji, because don't get me wrong, he does in a way. Is I'll hang out with you, but I want this other girl. My point is to get this other girl. Yeah. And at some point, it feels very American Pie-ish.
What do you mean?
Very, very, 1990s, early 2000s comedy, frat boy comedy.
Okay.
You get me?
No, I don't. I'm not getting the reference in relation to Toradora. I remember American Pie. I'm not getting it in relation to Toradora.
Because in relation to Toradora, Ryuji almost is just hanging out with her because she's never hung out with a girl either, you know? But she's also just trying to get laid almost, or get romantic with a girl.
He is.
Yes,
Ryuji
he is. Yeah.
He's desperate to get romantic with any girl?
No. With Minori.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and vice versa. And Taiga's trying to get romantic with somebody else. So it seems very wingman-y.
But it goes from wingman to like dependence at a certain point.
Yes, but there's this small instance where, like, Ryuji, because like the first 8 episodes, it's mostly Ryuji helping Taiga,
right,
trying to get information from.
yeah, and then at a certain point in episode, like 9 episodes 10, she's like, "Oh yeah, we got to do something to try to help you get with Minori."
Exactly, and through those
and that's after she gets turned down by Yusaka, basically.
And through those 8 episodes, I'm like, well, this guy's not doing anything. Yeah, and it, I don't know. I just liked how after that, Taiga started getting jealous. It was
good.
It was put into context.
Ryuji's a great guy.
Yeah.
Like, all these bitches would be lucky to get with Ryuji. And that's kind of what it turns into. Because after Ami is introduced, because she has this conniving kind of, like, ulterior motive. Like, just because she's the hot, like, popular...
He's the house husband, though.
He is the house husband. She, like, the thing about Ami is that she's just convinced she's Mr. Steal Your Man. You know what I mean? Like, she can steal any of these dudes from any of these girls because they're just basic bitches in this basic-ass high school, and she's fucking Ami Kawasaka.
Basic bitches.
am I using the word bitch too much? And that's what it turns into. And she's like, she kind of, like, is really sexually harassy with Ryuji. Like, there's a progressive... points of like viewing Toradora that I don't even think could like pass 2022 snuff, because like what's like the really annoying like Reddit point of view about women progressive issues or like hashtag cancel culture is like, oh well, any man can be told that they did anything in the workplace. Or what if it was the other way around? What if a woman came onto a guy without getting consent? Blah, 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 blah. But like, that is wrong. And, and that is how Ami Kawasaki is, because like when, she's rich, right? So she has a beach house. So there's like 3-4 episodes at the beach house. It reminds me of fucking Fruits Basket season 2, right?
K-On.
K-On. Oh my God. So,
I love K-On.
but like all the ones that have extended like beach house like episodes, right?
And it didn't get swimsuity. It just got swimsuity for like 10 minutes.
But like it got really like horny and sexually harassy the very first night they were there, because I can't even remember how they got in that situation. He was helping her like move something, or like he was like being just a helping hand in the house because it's like dirty and like not taken care of, and she kind of like gets out of the shower or like is half naked and just kind of like gets all over him, and like he's a shy 16-year-old virgin, so
I think I remember what you're saying. I think the dialogue was like, hey, you want to come and do it or something like that. Like she starts saying like very
there's a couple of
dialogue.
So during the day when they're cleaning the house because no one's been at the beach house, Ryuji's a fucking cleaning nut. He likes cleaning. Like he actively enjoys the act of cleaning, right? So she's in the shower and she's like, hey, Ryuji, can I see you in the shower? He's like, for what? And she's like, yeah, can you come in here and help me with this thing? Are you sure you want to do it? And like highly suggestive language. Like we're describing, she lives in the realm of adults. Like she knows what she's saying, right? Just trying to make him uncomfortable and freak him out.
Get a reaction.
So that he runs downstairs and Taiga's like, what the fuck? What did the dumb chihuahua, that's what Taiga calls Ami the chihuahua. Yeah. What did that dumb chihuahua do to my mans but not my mans, right? Yeah. But then
she embarrassed me.
Yeah. But then it's that night though that like they're like sitting on the floor like Japanese style in front of like a table on the ground, and like she kind of just like mounts him a little bit. Like I can't remember how they even got into that situation, but like she kind of starts crawling onto him, being like, hey, like, do you think I'm pretty? Do you think I'm hot? And like starts like coming on to him, but like he's both uncomfortable as like somebody that's never been in this situation, but like he's also smart enough to see that like she might not be honest in like what she's trying to say right now. Like she just wants the drama out of it. It's not even like she's actually coming on to him. She's just like trying to stir the pot.
And to your points, that oh shit, what was your point?
That Ami's a bitch and likes to stir the pot. No,
not that the anime gets serious sometimes and
Oh,
adulty.
oh yeah, yeah. And this is one of those instances. Like the music stops. Like everyone's voice gets a lot less like anime. Squeaky.
I do agree with you. And you said like probably something like this couldn't be made today. If it's only the guy getting it, I'm pretty sure it could still be.
You think so? But I could
Yeah.
see nerds at the internet being like, "See, that's not fair. That's not
but
fair."
nothing's gonna go past that. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine you made like a Netflix like live action series of whatever you want with instances like this of a guy getting harassed.
He was,
quote unquote.
he was clearly uncomfortable.
Do you
Like,
think people will be like, "Hey"?
Nerds on the internet bitch about everything. Bro.
I know they do.
The
but-
new Pokemon
but
trailer
I feel
came
like
out.
I feel like society doesn't care about men yet.
I don't believe that.
Like that.
I don't believe that. I don't
Really?
believe that. I think men care about men like that.
No, yes, and probably men, and probably men,
it's mostly men that watch anime.
and probably there'll be several groups of like actual men being like, "Yo, dog, that's not cool," and I'm sure they have the right to their opinion. I'm sure they're right. You know what I'm saying? But like, I feel like the majority enough to make it a like cancellation thing, like women.
I'm not saying the anime would be canceled, but
No.
I think that over half the people that watched it
I
would
just think
be like, "Hey, this is clearly wrong."
if I was a creator of that in 2022, I would not be concerned.
I don't know, man. But yeah, so like, in basically her just wanting to stir the pot, like she didn't even close the door, or she did it in like the room where she knew everyone was gonna come through. So of course, Taiga and Minori and Yusuka walk into the room while she's basically like mounting the guy, and like it pisses off Taiga, and like Taiga and Ryuji being together but not being together but being together, like she gets mad, she actively gets upset, and Ryuji. Like he's annoying because like he clearly knows what's wrong, but he spends like the next 4 episodes like just nonstop being like, "Hey, why are you mad at me? Why are you mad at me? Why are you mad?"
Ronnie and Samantha in Jersey Shore.
Yeah, kind of. But like clearly like he knows what happened, why she's upset, and he tries talking his way out of it, even though he's not in the wrong, right? Like he's just kind of like, "No, it wasn't me, it was her." I swear to God.
I was like, why are you guys giving explanations to each other? Like all the time.
You're not dating.
Yeah.
And like that's her point at a certain like I think like he like goes to her apartment and like tries to like pressure her to talking to him and trying to explain himself, and she's just like, "Why are you here? Like, why are you trying to explain this to me? Like, we're like," she doesn't say we're not together, but she just keeps questioning it, like saying out loud, like, "Dude, we're not together. You don't have to explain yourself to me." But like he clearly feels guilty about it and thinks he fucked up a little bit, even though it is Ami. And then, like, a couple episodes after that, like, the school semester starts again. That's during summer vacation at the beach house. School starts again. They're, like, moving gym equipment or something for the school festival that they're trying to build. And, like, she kind of catches him again in the same kind of situation. And, like they're in, like, a shed where the locker equipment is. And she kind of almost half confesses her love to him. She's, like, kind of, like... like she kind of comes on to him. He plays dumb, like he doesn't understand what she's doing, and she's kind of like, "You need to stop playing dumb because someone's gonna get hurt." And he doubles down on playing dumb, and it's just like, "What do you mean? Who's gonna get hurt? What's gonna happen?"
Yeah.
So like her being the only like non-teenage brain person is like, "Dude, like at least 2-3 girls you're playing right now, somebody's gonna get their feelings hurt."
And by the way, nice turn of events on Minori's character writing. Like she's almost bisexual.
What do you? I don't even remember this.
No,
What do you mean? Minori's bisexual?
Yeah, like at one point, she is written as she once wanted a relationship with Taiga.
I don't remember that. What?
You don't
Can you
remember
just
that?
can you describe that to me?
Yeah, like there's a point where I can't remember if it was during like after the beauty pageant that they made a race for the lucky guy. That's what they called the race. And like at some point, Minori was running that race, and everybody was like, "Yeah, it's cool if girls join the race." And then a little bit after that, that night when they're having the dance or whatever, like Minori is standing next to Ryuji and they're talking. It's like, "I don't know why I'm jealous." I feel like sometimes I like girls more than guys.
I don't remember that line, but I remember. So they have like a sports event thing, right? And the prize is like a date or a dance with Tyga.
The beauty pageant winner, which Tyga did.
Right, which Tyga won. But like Yusuka didn't participate or didn't want to participate as the vice president because he's part of student council. And and Tyga basically tells Ryuji, "Hey, don't let anyone else win because I don't want to be on a date with anybody else." Kind of being like, "Nudge, nudge, I want to be on a date with you." Nudge, nudge. But then at that same point, it's the situation you're talking about where it's just a foot race between Minori and Ryuji trying to get this date with Tyga. So there's an extra bit of sauce there, and it's I think like all of these, to be honest, like Toradora, Horimiya, they're just coming of age stories, right? Like they're just kids learning to be adults through their relationships, right? And like all of these are really just like learning more about yourself and learning what it means to be adult. Like the stuff with Ami is she moved out here to get away from a stalker. Ryuji has to confront the stalker at a certain point and like kind of scare him, or the only thing that like gets the stalker to go away is Ami showing who she really is. Like not the celebrity model person, but her real bitchy like asshole personality and like actually bitching the guy out. And this obsessive person who had this like idealistic vision of who Ami was, like all of a sudden gets turned off. And that's also kind of like a juxtaposition to how Ryuji and Tyga see their crushes in the beginning. They have this idealistic version of who their crush is, of who they are as a person, right?
And it's not until episode 14 that you're starting to realize it's like, well, not to realize, because as an anime watcher, you're going to be like, they obviously end up together.
Yeah.
You know? But if you had no knowledge of that or no context of that, you're watching and you're following the story, and it's like exactly what you said. They have put him on a pedestal that they did not belong in, and
people are just people at the end of the day.
And yeah, don't meet your heroes kind of thing.
Yeah. Don't meet your crush.
Yeah, don't meet your crushes, guys, nerds.
But
keep it in your pants.
I think the end of that summer festival, that sports festival, ends with a bonfire on the school campus, which was kind of cool. It reminded me of how Texas Tech used to be when I was an undergrad.
Woo!
But it was
actually
the cool part here is that this is where Yusuke actually kind of half confesses to Taiga, because Taiga's still about him. They're friends. They know each other a lot better now. He asks her to dance. And now Ryuji gets the opportunity to be a little jealous, right? And now the whole class has thought that Ryuji and Taiga were dating, but then the whole class sees Yusuke and Taiga dancing that night. And they were really, like, hitting it off. You know what I mean? So now it's, like, the other turn where Ryuji's not only, like, kind of jealous, but he's also kind of, like, embarrassed, or, like, he's getting this pressure from the class. Like, even the other guys in the class are being like, yo, like, isn't that your friend? Like, why is he dancing with your girl? Like, that kind of thing. So it's juvenile, but it feels spicy in the moment, like, as you're watching it.
Yeah, they do. And that is one of the, I guess, I did have fun with how corny it is and how adult it can be at the same time.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't stay too long in either side.
Yeah.
You know, it just goes kitty,
same
serious,
episode,
kitty, serious, kitty, serious.
Same scenes even. It'll be switching between the two.
I think the part that annoyed me the most, or not that it annoyed me, but I was like, man, like, this seems such, like, I don't have shit to write about, when our character, Mr. Yuzaku, he goes through the whole, like, breakup. Yuzuka?
Yeah.
He goes through the breakup with Miss Kano.
Oh, that shit was my favorite. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So, like, we're talking, like, halfway through their second year, right? So it's after sports festival, after summer break. The current class president is a third year named Sumire Kano. And she's, like, a super, super genius. Like, she's gonna drop out of school, like, 6 months out from graduating, so that she can go on like a scholarship to work for NASA, like in the U.S. You know what I mean? Like her goal in life is to be like a fucking astronaut or astro space physicist. I don't know. Like just she's a super genius, big time engineer, right?
Big brains, big brain. And not just that. In this moment, I mean, we are gonna talk about the Yusaku and Kano thing, but also here is where we see Taiga's like
her big dumb girl brain.
Her big dumb girl brain. Yes, please, thank you.
Big dumb girl brain. Yeah. Like how we were talking about big dumb boy brain in Horimiya last week. Like Taiga's got big dumb girl brain a lot of the time. Mm-hmm. So she's a tsundere. She's not opposed to violence. You know what I mean? Like she'll pull some hair and sock a bitch. Like if you're coming at a man's like that. So like her and Yusuke have been hitting it off, right? Like the dance already happened. He reminded her that he's the original one that like hit her up like at the beginning of the school year, saying that he liked her and gave her a confession of love, and she turned him down. So then the run up to electing the new class president is happening, and our good boy boy number one, Yusuke, the smartest boy in school, best boy, like no personality problems, never been in trouble, all of a sudden he dyes his hair blonde.
He gets some pictures taken with just a towel covering his dick.
Oh yeah. He also has this really weird thing where he likes see, that's another thing that I don't think you could do in 2022. Like he has this thing even in the beach house episodes where he just walks around the house like butt ass naked.
Louis C. Kane.
Yeah. Like, and then like the towel accidentally falls, and all the girls are like embarrassed, like he's not like totally flashing them on purpose, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But anyways, this is besides the point we're talking about right now. So, like,
cool guy.
he doesn't want to run for class president, and none of his friends, including Ryuji, Taiga, nobody, or even the teacher, knows why the fuck he doesn't want to run for class president. They were like, dude, you were a shoo-in. Like everyone already thinks you're class president. Mm-hmm. And she's a tsundere too. Miss Kano's also a tsundere.
Yeah.
And she's also like a super hard ass. And he dyes his hair blonde, which we already know is like banned in like Japanese schools. Like you can't be like you're already
unnaturally blonde.
Yeah, you can't be dyeing your hair or have a lot of piercings. Like they're very, very conservative while you're in school. You know what I mean? So he's already going against the rules. He's not showing up to class. He's showing up hella late. Which for a future class president, everyone's like, "What the fuck is wrong with this dude?"
There's like an episode where he's just like, "I quit."
Yeah, like super dramatic. That they're teenagers. He's upset that the second girl he's in love with here, Miss Sumide Kano, is gonna move to Japan move to the U.S. without even giving him a second thought, right? Because we get a backstory.
Very selfish.
Very, very selfish. Like you were telling this 17, 18-year-old girl.
I appreciate the sentiment, but very selfish.
Yeah, you were telling this prodigy, this girl, Miss Kano, that she can't move to the U.S. to get a scholarship for this badass job because you have a crush on her. Like that's super, but like. I get the point that she was also kind of like a bitch about it. Like she didn't just like tell him outright. So he's leading up to the runoff for the class presidency. He doesn't want to run, but Ryuji and Taiga's whole plan is they'll make Taiga run. And Taiga's such a bad candidate for president that the sheer fear of Taiga being class president will make Yusuke want to be class president, right? Which kind of works at the end.
Yeah, and honestly, one of my least favorite parts in the dialogue, especially in the dub here, because Taiga speaks like in this way, like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be your class president, and I'm gonna drag you all to hell and say goodbye to being a student." It's like, whoa, but it just sounds fucking ridiculous.
It's corny.
It just sounds fucking ridiculous.
It's super corny.
And I cannot talk about Toradora without talking about how bad that 2008 dub was.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of corny. It's not bad. It is good when it has to be because it's a romance.
It's good for its time.
But yeah, man, it's fucking crazy.
It's pretty bad. But
even Ami being a bitch, like it sounds corny as fuck.
No, absolutely. That's why I can't stand every piece of dialogue coming out of Minori. Yeah. I'm just like, this is the most annoying thing I've watched. Mm-hmm. But at the last minute, like, while giving the speech for the future class president. So if you're running for class president, all the candidates are going to go in front of the school and give a speech as to why they should be voted for, right? Taiga basically already drops out, seeing that like Taiga and Ryuji's plan worked to get Yusuka like interested in being president. But then Yusuka uses his speech time to give a confession of love in front of the entire school to Miss Kano. Which right away, as soon as that happens, she grabs the mic and is just like, "Oh, your future class president is such a jokester. This is why you guys are gonna vote for him because he's so fucking funny, right?" Just like turning him down in front of the entire school. And Taiga, having this ginormous crush on Yusuka, takes that personally. Goes to the third floor, grabs this bitch by the collar of her shirt, and just starts beating the shit out of her.
Like, what are you doing? Turn him down, you stupid bitch.
But like it like the honestly, it's weird how fluid this fight scene is. Like it's a whole ass fight scene. You know what I mean? Like they make a circle out of the desk to let these girls fight, and it's Taiga pissed that Kano doesn't have this reaction about this great guy Yusuka like confessing his love and like really caring about her, but she starts bringing down in tears. Miss Kano starts bringing down in tears, being like, "Of course I fucking like him, you fucking stupid bitch. Like I like him so fucking much, but I have to go do this school. I have to go get this job. I gotta go get this education. This is a great opportunity. What am I gonna do? Stay here for this boy? Like,
yeah, because Taiga was on the talks of like, well, then if you don't love him, if you're not gonna feel anything, then say that you hate him. At least as your friend, you'll be sad that he's leaving, that you're leaving, or blah blah blah. It's like, just say that you hate him, blah blah. And then we see like this, like flip flop, like kick to the face where she kicks and like lets loose of her sandal and hits Taiga on the face.
yeah,
Very good animated. Very good animation too here. But yeah, and then she goes into the whole spiel like, what do you mean, bitch? It's like, I obviously do appreciate who he is as a person, but I'm not gonna pick him. I'm gonna go pick a NASA.
yeah.
You know,
like, what are you gonna do? Not go work for NASA?
Yeah, exactly. And don't get me wrong. In the month of love, I mean, if love hits you that hard and you think that the right decision is to pick your person instead of like this ultimately nice paying job that will have you set for life.
Nah, I think you gotta take the job, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think you gotta take the job.
I'm not gonna hate on you if you took that decision, but maybe sometimes.
And that's kind of the whole thing. Like the Taiga basically gets suspended for like 3 weeks for like beating the shit out of Kano. It like, but Yusuka feels better about the situation. Like he's glad that the side chick, the girl he didn't even really like, like my girl beat up my ex girl. Hell yeah. And it's one of these, and it's just kind of like, that was really childish on all parts here. You know what I mean? But whatever.
But then again, it feels, in the other hand, with Hiromiya, you know, we talked about how Hiro's and Miyamura's character,
Hori and Miyamura, yeah.
their relationship, where the more mature relationship out of like the bunch.
Yeah.
Like here we start seeing that a lot too, because the relationships outside Taiga and Ryuji are kind of like that.
Yeah. It's what we didn't even describe at the beach scene when we were talking about Minori, it likes to be scared or like pretends to be scared, is she doesn't actually like to be scared. She loves horror flicks and doesn't actually get scared that often. And she kind of friend zones Ryuji at the beach house because Minori, like, I don't know if this is her actual personality or like kind of like how Ami has a fake personality that she shows the world. Like Minori just always has this fake face on, but she always acts really like spastic to where she can't have a serious conversation because she'll just make it about nothing, right? So they're Ryuji and Minori are chilling on the roof of Ami's beach house, and Ryuji's just kind of like, "Hey, Minori, do you have a boyfriend?" And she just starts talking about the stars. Just starts talking about the stars. Just to not have the conversation, just to not put him down. And that's, again, super kind of immature, right? But somebody like Ami, you would almost, if Ryuji had confessed to her, she would have said outright what she wanted. Like the only girl that's been introduced in this entire show that I can understand being like forthright about her feelings is Ami, even though she's the biggest bitch here.
Mm-hmm.
And
she is, and I feel like she is also being immature because I don't know if I knew one of my friends if I knew one of my friends had a crush on somebody else, I wouldn't be deliberately hitting up on them.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And she does this, and it just feels very okay. I get it.
Well, Ami doesn't see herself as being friends with Taiga, really, though.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
like
not.
if anything,
Yeah,
they're
not.
enemies. You know what I mean? Like she's a romantic enemy here.
Well, I guess common courtesy, you know. But
like
maybe not.
She's so sure of herself. She sees it as like a badge of honor. Like, oh, I can steal that guy. Like this isn't even a game. Like I'm the model bitch.
And that's the thing. She's not even doing it for liking like Ryuji at the first.
I think she does.
Well, no, at the end, yes.
Well, I think she admits it at the end. But I do think even in these beginning parts, like I think the way it's directed, it seems like it's hella fake and like she's just doing it for the drama just to be a bitch. But I do think with the subtext later on where she does kind of admit that like, dude, I liked you this whole time.
She reminds me of Haru almost. These slurs.
Kind of. But like, yes, like Haru, kind of. Like the mature adult, like she knows what she wants, but she's gonna let the guy pick whatever he wants because she's not gonna be desperate like that. Maybe desperate's the wrong word, but
She puts them in some situations. You said it.
yeah, but it's like fuck. I don't know how I'm trying to say it. I hold on, give me a second. So, the context at the end is that Ami very, very much did like him this whole time. She liked Ryuji this whole time. But she also isn't dumb enough to get in the way of him pretending that he liked Minori when he actually clearly liked Taiga this entire time. Like, she was almost trying to show Ryuji, like, that she was an option. And he never saw that. Or he never took the bait, kind of. Which, it's not the worst thing in the world, but, like, there's another break. It's I don't know what it is. She kind of like stopped showing up to school a little bit. It's like right before the Christmas holiday, and she comes back from her parents' house, her modeling gig, whatever she was doing in the adult world, and she kind of doesn't want to talk to that group anymore. And everyone thinks it's weird that she's showing up to school and not hanging out with them or having lunch with them or hanging out with them after class. And she tells Ryuji again, like, you still don't understand that somebody's going to get hurt. And big dumb boy brain Ryuji's just kind of like, what do you mean? Who's going to get hurt? What's happening? I'm not going to get hurt. No one else is going to get hurt. What's going on? And it's not until the Christmas party that we understand why. So there's a Christmas party.
There's a Christmas party.
There is a Christmas party. It's dope. They have like a whole ball, kind of homecoming-ish kind of thing at the school gymnasium.
By the way, the whole like analogy or metaphor that they wanted to be with like the ornament and like the lone star in the sky.
Yeah.
With Taiga. I mean, I was like, okay, that was nice. That was a nice sprinkle of whatever the fuck that was.
There's quotable pieces if you look for it.
Yeah.
But what happens here is Ami and Taiga rehearse a song together, and they didn't tell anybody. So they sing a whole ass Christmas song. They sing like an actual Christmas song, like an actual like American Christmas song. I think it was like one of the Santa Claus ones. It was I can't even remember.
What is it? You better watch out.
Yes, it's like that. But like the lyrics are a little different. But it's that rhythm, it's that beat. Yeah, and it's a Christmas song, right? And Ami obviously is a model, and her dressed up in a dress, like she wants Ryuji's attention. But he's just like kind of complimenting Taiga for being like, oh, you looked really good up there. Like, I didn't know you could sing. That was really good of you. And Taiga's whole thing is she still hasn't clearly helped Ryuji get with Minori, right? Uh-huh. And Minori still doesn't see Ryuji like that, like at all, as far as we know. No. So she gets upset and kind of like abandons the party because she's dealing with dad drama at that same time, right? So Taiga, we described that she's kind of just like pawned off by her rich family. There's episodes where they're throwing a school festival that like the dad's supposed to come to watch their play, which they throw like a lucha libre kind of play. And the dad doesn't show up, stands him up because he's a fucking asshole, like almost sells all the furniture in her apartment that he bought her because he was convinced that like he was going to move her back in because he kicked her out once he got remarried and his new wife didn't like his daughter, which is like the bitchiest thing I could imagine.
And dude, again, when you're talking about how mature you can get at some points, like some of the situations that a lot of the characters have here in this anime are kind of wild, because even at the beginning, like Ryuji loves his mom, and there's this episode like completely all about his mom, which I completely loved, but like the animosity was put there in context between them two. The animosity was put there with Taiga's parents. The animosity was put there with Minori's parent, with fucking Yuzuka's parents. It's weird. Crazy.
The thing with Taiga's dad made sense to me because I feel like that's how my dad was when he got remarried. Like my stepmom didn't like me or my sister all that much, like at all. But and he was really quick to make like his new wife happy and start a new family with her. And like that's kind of how the dad is here until he's just a fuck ass dad and he doesn't show up to the show, stops like answering her calls, stops answering her texts.
And the fucked up thing is that you keep coming back. It's like,
right.
Can you stop coming back?
Right, because she clearly wants a life outside of her dad because she realizes that he's an abusive asshole and is only around when it's convenient to him, which is the worst kind of fucking parent to have, right?
Yes.
And she falls for it every time. And that's why Minori, there's a falling out between... that's why Minori and Ryuji were fighting during the run to get the date with Taiga. Because Taiga's dad was trying to come back in the picture. Ryuji was supporting it. Minori told him no. So they were having an argument while running to win the triathlon to get that date with Taiga.
Because the piece of dialogue of her being a lesbian happened. So
still don't remember it. But the context here is she saw the last time the dad tried to reappear in the picture, like a year and a half ago, where he did the same thing and just kind of left her hanging and like raised all her expectations just to let her down again. And that's why she kept telling Ryuji, like, no, dude, like, stop supporting this. Like, he's just going to hurt her. He's a fucking piece of shit. And Ryuji, who also doesn't know his father, has an absent father, he, honestly, up until like episode 22, we think the dad's dead. To be honest, like the way the anime is written, you think the dad's dead until like it's actually like laid out to you in like episode 22, 23.
And then even that episode we're talking about where they give an episode to Ryuji's mom. What's her name?
Hold on. Finish the story about the fuck ass dad, and then we can talk about the mom.
Okay. Go.
So then Taiga's dad doesn't show up, and she's super sad about it at the Christmas party. So she goes home to sob because the thing about Taiga is she's a huge fan of Santa, and like she loves the idea of like tricking herself into thinking that she has to be a good girl so that she can get something from Santa. And the thing about Taiga is that all she really wants for Christmas is Ryuji, but she's not being honest with herself. So then, at a certain part at the Christmas at a certain point in the Christmas party, she just kind of disappears, dips, and just goes to cry in her apartment by herself because Santa didn't show up, her dad didn't show up. She has nobody, kind of. At least Ryuji has his mom, right? So Ryuji steals a costume, like a Christmas costume. I can't remember what it was. Was it like a snowman? It was...
I believe so. Yeah, the snowman?
It was like a snowman, but like she's like, oh, it's Santa. But so she plays with, air quotes, Santa in a snowman costume for a couple hours, but it's totally just Ryuji, right? And she realizes that, takes the mask off him, and it's just like, Ryuji, you fucking idiot, you're supposed to be giving this ornamented hair brooch to Minori. So go back to the school, confess your love to her, give her a Christmas gift. Ryuji runs back to the school, finds Minori out there, and she kind of, again, passively, not even directly, blows him off and says like, no, we're just gonna be friends, and that she doesn't see him like that. But then the backstory we get there, we get a semi flashback to like half an hour before, where Minori realized what Taiga was upset, tried going to her apartment, sees Taiga running out of her apartment, crying because Ryuji left to go confess his love to Minori. When Taiga just now realized the night of Christmas Eve that she is in love with Ryuji. Minori sees that, and that's why she turns him down, because her best friend is in love with this guy. Even though we finally start getting some back dialogue that she actually does like Ryuji. Mm-hmm. But you were saying about Taiga's mom? Oh, no, I mean Ryuji's mom?
Ryuji's mom, when you were talking about how we thought that the dad was dead, Ryuji's dad was dead, it's... And then him being like a quote unquote thug and shit.
Yeah.
The conversation with the grandparents in that one episode with
You want to go that far down?
Oh, okay. Do you have?
Well, that's really late.
Yeah, that is really late, huh?
Yeah. Well, I wanted to talk about at least the snowboarding episodes first.
Oh, okay. Yes.
So that happens. They get turned down. Their last class trip together as second years, they go snowboarding. They go to a ski lodge, whatever, right? The girls or the boys basically have this dumbass plan that they're gonna go into the girls' room and ask them why Minori doesn't actually like Ryuji, because Ryuji's been kind of bummed out a couple days, isn't his normal self, and like the guys, especially Yusaku, are able to like get out of him that he's upset that Minori like friend zoned him. Mm-hmm. So they're gonna go to their hotel room, ask them what the fuck happened. They see Taiga there and just kind of all hide in the closet and listen to an argument between the girls happen, where it's basically Minori and Ami almost have a whole ass argument about Ami, as the smart, mature one that understands adult relationships, understands that Minori actually does like Ryuji. And she's kind of like poking and poking and poking and poking. Like I'm sure you've done this to me. Like, if you just keep pressuring me enough, I'm going to get pissed. You know what I mean? Like, back the fuck up. Stop asking me questions. Mm-hmm. And that's what happened.
Like the table thing?
Well, not that. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, just picking on something that they don't want to talk about.
Yes.
And that's what happens here. They almost have a whole-ass fist fight where Minori ends up having to, like, scream at her and being like, of course I fucking like him. But everyone in this fucking class knows that he's in love with Taiga. So get the fuck off my back.
And it's crazy because all the moments where Ryuji at the beginning with Taiga, the people surrounding them have the wrong idea that they like each other, and it seems that...
But they do.
No, well, yes, but that's not what the anime is trying to serve you. The anime is trying to serve you that these two people are going to help each other get their love of their crushes. Right? So at the beginning, you know, characters like Minori and characters like Yusaku have the bad idea of what they're trying to do. And honestly, at one point in the beginning, it seems like Yusaku and Minori are gonna end up together.
I think the relationship between Ryuji and Taiga, at least in my mind, I never doubted it. I never doubted that was the real relationship we were here for. I never doubted that that's what it was going to end up as.
Yes, but if I want to step away from like, me trying to guess the ending of Inception the first time I saw it, I'm just going to go with, like, at that point, I was just going through what the anime was trying to serve me, which was... a whole thing about them helping out each other and getting laid.
Well, it's not even that. I think it's them growing together. Like, they were clearly very, very, very immature, like, when they started hanging out.
Because even my girlfriend was like, I remember the first time she laughed about it, and I was like, "What'd you laugh at?" It's like, "Ha, it's just so predictable." But then again, later on, I would catch her like, "What?"
It's good because it is predictable. It is childish because so the big thing is that
I'm not saying this bad.
the big thing is that like after that night, after the boys like while hiding in the closet see the almost fist fight between Ami and Minori, the very next day on the mountain, Ami starts it again with Minori, being like, "Hey, like I'm still not over it. I know we squashed it, but the boys aren't here. We don't care." And it's it's what I can't even remember how it happened, but Taiga had given Minori the diamond encrusted like hairpin that Ryuji was gonna originally give her, right? But in the fight with Ami, like these girls getting a whole ass fist fight. Like the only fight scenes in this anime are girl fights. So they get in a whole ass girl fight in snow gear on the mountain, and the diamond encrusted brooch like falls down into the forest, and Taiga goes down and tries to get it, and she never comes back up the mountain. So then like hours later, it's like the night.
Fucks up.
It's like the night. The whole like class is on alert.
Manhunt.
The teachers, yeah, it's a manhunt because no one knows where this missing fucking student is. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's up to Ryuji just like getting the balls and be like, "No, dude, I'm tired of waiting for these fuck ass adults. I gotta go find her." He finds her like laid down, like she hit her head while falling down the hill trying to get the brooch, and she's like so concussed, so delusional, so cold that she's like in and out of it. He puts her on his back and is like carrying her up the mountain, and she starts like mumbling in her sleep. She thinks that Yusuka, that Kiramaru is the one that came to get her, and she's like, "Oh, Kiramaru, don't tell Ryuji, but I really wish it was Ryuji coming to rescue me right now. I love him so much. I love Ryuji." Which we already knew that she actually finally admitted to her feelings at the night of the Christmas party.
Yes.
Which was why Minori didn't want to end up with Ryuji, because she didn't want to hurt her friend like that. I don't know why the fuck Ryuji does this, but he's so embarrassed, or like he doesn't want to admit his feelings yet for Taiga, this girl that he basically almost already lives with and that his mom has already approved of. When she comes out of her concussion, he convinces Yusuka and like Ami to lie to Taiga, to be like, "No, like Yusuka is the one that actually saved her. I'm not the one that saved her. I don't want to be the hero in her eyes. I want the girl that I think she does like, Yusuka, my best friend, to end up with her."
It seemed very like
he's cucking himself.
Erased, Steingate-y.
It just feels like he's cucking himself. Like he's such like a pussy, like in his chest. Like he can't be the one to end up with the girl. Like, nah, my boy's gonna end up with the girl. I can't end up with her. And it's what,
episode 16, 17?
Later, maybe.
Later?
Like 18, 19.
And 18, 19. And we know there's still more to the story. So, like, for him to just fuck himself over is just...
It's annoying.
It's
so
just filler.
Annoying.
Yeah.
It's a fake. It's clearly a fake.
Yeah.
Because, like, they get pressured at school. Like, Minori, the airhead, the actual airhead, not the fake airhead like Ami, knows that it was actually Ryuji that, like, went out there in the snow and, like, took her and got her to the paramedics and all that. So when they're at school and they're describing the story... Ryuji had already told Yusuka and Ami to basically like do the lie and say Yusuka was the one that saved her, because he's still convinced that Yusuka and Taiga are going to end up together. And Minori's like, "Fuck no. What do you mean? Ryuji's the one that saved you, Taiga." Like, and Taiga vaguely remembers that confession of love that she was giving on Ryuji's back. But again, she thinks that she was either so out of it that she didn't actually say it out loud, or that it actually was Yusuka she said it to.
It's another instance of that fucking anime fever shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, I'm so fucked up, I'm just going to say this and...
I had a fever. That was the exact thing in Horimiya. That was
like,
the exact thing in Horimiya.
It's the same thing, bro.
But Minori is the one that actually sets the story straight. She's like, "Fuck no, that was Ryuji." And that again both embarrasses and pisses off Taiga, and she runs the fuck out of the room. And it's a whole ass thing. Like, she goes out into the city and is like almost gonna like jump into like off a bridge into a river or something. Or no, she's just trying to get away from Ryuji. Because again, Ryuji's doing this dumb boy brain pretending I did nothing wrong thing. and just being like, "Why are you mad? Why are you mad? Why didn't do nothing wrong? Why are you mad?" And she's just kind of,
you lied to me first.
yes.
Yeah.
Like they finally
being
have like
petty about
they
it.
finally have a real conversation right there on the bridge, like over the river. Finally, they have like the most adult conversation they've had like since hanging out. And she's kind of like, "You lied to me, bro. Like, I clearly told you that I liked you and wanted you to be the one to rescue me. You lied and said it was your friend. Like, how fucking weird and cucky is that?" And he's just like, "What? I didn't know you liked me. I guess I like you."
But then he also knew that she was lying about not knowing that if she had said that or not.
Well, she didn't know. She didn't.
Was
she
it a
didn't
dream?
She
Was
didn't
it a dream or
she
was
didn't clearly
it real?
know. But so then we finally get not only a confession of love on the bridge, but a super dramatic confession of love where Ryuji's basically like, "Honestly, Taiga, like we should just be together. You should just marry me." And Taiga's just like, "Oh, what? Okay, let's get married." And then they jump off the bridge into the cold river together.
No, Taiga pushes him.
Taiga out of embarrassment, she's like, "Get the fuck away from me!" Pushes him in the river, and then she falls in too. And then they elope for like 3 days, for like 3 episodes. So if that's like episode 20, the next like 3 episodes are them eloping.
And it turns weird because, not weird. It turns very what I would have done. Because not only is like the second to the last day of school,
You gonna elope with V?
but like,
Nervous laugh.
but they got their friends together and they were like, "Yo, hey, we're trying to elope. Do you guys have any tips?"
Well, there's a couple of complications. So, Taiga's been out of school for like 2-3 weeks after her accident, her concussion, because her mom is finally back in her life, right? And the mom is trying to do what the dad was doing and trying to like get her to come home with her, get her out of the apartment, and the dad's business went under, so like Taiga's gonna lose the apartment either way. And like now that Taiga basically has this proposal from the guy she loves, like the mom's still like, "No, dude, you're a fucking minor. Like you're gonna come live with me. Like this marriage thing isn't happening."
Bro, not involved at all, and then just come in to be like, "No, fuck off."
So that's why they elope. Because the moms, both Ryuji's mom and Taiga's mom, catch them in the street, like being like, "Hey, Taiga, you gotta come home with me. Stop hanging out with this boy. You're not getting up together." Yeah, and then Ryuji's mom. This is the one that hurt my feelings.
Yeah,
is because dog. It's always mom stuff that hurts my feelings.
It's because it turns very, like, I would never talk to my mom like that.
It's because like your mom loves you so much, you know. Yeah. So the issue that Ryuji and his mom have been having is Ryuji's. Like they have not brought this up the whole anime, but apparently he's actually kind of smart and has great grades. They never brought this up, like ever. But then all of a sudden, episode 21, it's like, "What do you mean? You have great grades. You're gonna get a scholarship. You're gonna go to college." And like Ryuji's like, "No, dude." He's talking to his mom. He's like, "No, I'm not gonna go to college. I'm gonna start working right away because you're a single mom. You can't be trying to put me through college. Blah 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 blah." But the mom being like, "No, dude. Like I don't have, so that you can have."
Yes.
And like that's like the selflessness of mothers, you know what I mean? Like that shit made me sad. I was like, I wanted to call my mom, being like, "Mom, I am so glad of every sacrifice you ever made for me. I love you so fucking much. I know I'm a fucking selfless piece of shit, but I love you so fucking." Like that's what hurt my feelings, because it reminded me of something I would tell my mom at 16, 17. Be like, "No, Mom, fuck you. You're not thinking about me. Yeah. You don't appreciate me.
I hate you, Mom."
Yeah. Oh my god. And like me being an adult, that's so mean, because it's like, I can see as an adult, like, even the shit I can't remember because I was a fucking child, you know what I mean? Yeah. I even, the things I do remember, I can see how selfless my mom was, because she cared about me, she cared about her son.
And in the whole big picture of this whole mom episode, like, if you...
Oh, we're finally talking about the mom thing that you were talking
about. and if you're gonna... If you're gonna put this mom aspect and you're gonna be serving it to an audience through anime, the words that come out of Ryuji's mouth next, it seems very proper to what he saw growing up. Sorry, I just want to tap on the table.
Stop tapping on the table.
Okay, I'll tap my legs, but. He continues to say, "Stop trying to be responsible through me when you couldn't do that when you were growing up." And
That's
to say
so
that, bro, I
mean.
mean,
That's so
everybody's
mean.
capable of anything. Hey, people have to be flipping burgers at McDonald's, but they have to make a good living out of it. Yes, I completely understand that.
She's busting her ass at the
But
bar
she is-
every night. She
know?
picks up a second job. The
She
minute
does,
the
'cause
day
she-
they have the conversation that he's like, "How the fuck am I gonna pay for college? I'm just not gonna do it." She picks up a second job the next day.
And she even has money saved for him.
Yes, she tells him straight up, "No, I've already been putting away from your college. Don't worry about it." And he's just like, "What do you mean you've been putting away from my college?" And she's like, "Don't worry about it."
Like, you don't cook, you don't do anything. You come home late, you don't do nothing.
It's also one of these really weirdly progressive, like, parent child relationships that what was that Nickelodeon show about, like, the skateboarder snowboarder
Malcolm in the Middle.
no, it was a cartoon on Nickelodeon about skateboarding kids that also surfed. Rocket Power. They called the dad by the first name, right? I remember as a kid being
Rocco?
like, but they called the dad by the first name, and I remember as a kid being, that's fucking weird.
Right, Rocco. Rufus. Yeah.
Ryuji calls his mom by her first name. It's weird to call anybody by their first name in Japan. Ryuji is whole ass not saying mom or anything. Like, he's just really saying his mom's first name. Like, they have that kind of relationship.
Do you call Karen by her first name?
Yeah, but I don't call my mom by her first name.
Yeah, I don't call V by her first name.
What, you just say, like, babe?
Yeah.
No, I guess so too.
Yeah. Because even when I call her Vianney, it's on this
You're mad.
hypothetical
Hey, VNA, we gotta
hypothetical sentence. Yeah. I'm never mad. Like, I'm always like, I don't know.
Aldo's always pissed. But so they have that a continuation of that talk on the street with Taiga's mom at that same time. And both Taiga and Ryuji are like, "No, dude, we're getting up together." Like, you're Taiga's telling her mom, "No, I'm not moving away. I want to be here with Ryuji. I want to be here with my friends." And Ryuji's really fucking mean to his mom. Is just like, "Get the fuck out of here. You did nothing with your life. Like, I'm gonna do what I want to do with mine."
And to that point, like, I do really feel much better about the conversation Taiga had with her mom than Ryuji had with his mom.
That was mean. That was really, really fucking mean, bro.
Because Taiga, to her mom, and don't get me wrong, I don't understand the frustrations of this kind of relationship between Taiga and her mom, but she was like, "No, I don't want to live with your new husband. No, I did not want to live with your kid. No, I don't want to live with you because you were never there.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I need to live there. It's like, I don't want to be fucking Harry Potter under the fucking stairs."
For real. Yeah. That's the exact conversation. So they run away. They just
And to that, yeah.
And that's where they have that conversation that you were talking about. They show up to Ami's apartment. They call up Yusaka, and like Minori comes through, and they're like, "Hey guys, I know yesterday we weren't together, but now we're together, and now we're not only engaged, but we're eloping. So if you guys want to help us elope out of town, a bunch of 16-year-olds, you're more than welcome to."
And then Minori pulls out extra cash from all the jobs that she got. Like,
Because she has like 5 different jobs, like a ramen shop, an actual diner. Like, she's been working.
Ami gives some constructive criticism.
She gives constructive criticism. She also gives the key to her beach house.
Yeah.
And Yusaka is just kind of like, "Here's some free ramen tickets."
Yeah. I have a shitload of those.
Yeah. So they leave, but their whole plan is...
And it feels really good.
It
Like, when
does.
they're having that conversation with their friends,
It's both really childish, but it's very supportive.
grown-up, supportive.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's super childish. 2 17-year-olds being like, "Hey, other group of 17-year-olds, we're going to elope."
What's the old school movie, 90s movie, 80s movie, the one with Alfalfa and the little kids?
Little Rascals.
The Little Rascal. It's like Alfalfa and the little girl wanted to elope, and everybody got together in the clubhouse, and they were like, "Yeah, take my crayons."
Well, they were like 11.
No, I
And
know. But, like, it feels like that because it feels
Yeah.
like they're so not mature yet, but they acted in a mature way at that point.
So the plan is, they end up, Taiga and Ryuji, to air quotes elope, they go to Ryuji's grandparents' house. At first, I wasn't sure which group of grandparents this was.
Yeah.
Because the
They
thing
don't
about
tell you.
the thing about Ryuji, we thought his dad was dead this whole time, right? But he shows up and he's just like, "Hey, Grandma, Grandpa, I'm what's her face's son. I'm here." I can't even remember the mom's name.
Yamagi, something like that.
Something like that. And the parents just right away are just like, "Holy shit, like, I've never met my grandchild before. Like, you're him?" And like they kind of do like put them up. And then the plan is to write a letter or a text. I think it was a text that they sent to Ryuji's mom saying that Yasaku, thank you.
Yasaku.
Saying that Ryuji got in a car accident and that she's got to hurry to her parents' place. Because it ends up being the
classic scared mom tactic.
The maternal grandparents. It was the maternal grandparents. So it was Yasaku's parents. And because after Yusaku had Ryuji, she didn't have a relationship with her parents anymore. Like they had never met Ryuji because this is what
she got pregnant and he left, and then even the grandparents were like, "Yo, you should abort this kid."
Yeah, so we finally get Yasuku's backstory and why all this stuff happened, because it's like annoying every time Yasuku or Ryuji gets annoyed every time Yasuku brings up Ryuji's dad, right? Because it's always like, oh, you look so handsome, just like your dad did. He used to keep a book inside of his chest in case somebody tried to stab him so that he wouldn't die. Or like she was just enamored with somebody that clearly didn't give a fuck about her. He's just one of those guys that went out for cigarettes and just never came back. You know what I mean? And yeah, the backstory is she was pregnant.
It's probably Hito's dad, and that's why he came back to Hito.
Don't say that. That's way too complicated. I don't want them to be related either way. It's super creepy. But when she was close to popping, it sounded like when she was late in her pregnancy, he just met another girl and just kind of dipped out. And you're right. Like the grandparents were like, just abort it. Like we want nothing to do with that kid because she was unmarried. In a conservative household, an unmarried mother is like fucking hella taboo. You know what I mean? Like that's like a fucking nightmare. Like I knew people in high school who like girls who were like clearly pregnant for like forever, but their parents just pretended they didn't see it until like all of a sudden they have a baby, and that's kind of what happened here. And so with no support from the grandparents, Yasuku really raised Ryuji, who we've already described as a great guy. Like, despite being a fucking child, like he cleans, he cooks, he's about the women in his life. He respects the women in his life.
Self-sufficient.
Yeah, he's very self-sufficient. He doesn't like take advantage of women. Like he doesn't even let Ami like come up on him. He's a good dude. You know what I mean? He's just a good boy. Like just Ryuji's a good boy. Like that's the only way to describe it.
And not a bitch either.
No,
he stands up for himself.
He stands for him and his girls. You know what I mean? Yeah, like he's about it, and that's what's so like. This one got me. Like I got hella like teary eyed. Like don't get me wrong, because I'd seen it. I was also on and off between if I'm showing Toradora on the TV. I'm trying to beat Pokemon Arceus like in my hand, but like I just put it down at a certain point, and I'm just like staring at the TV. I'm like, I'm so fucking sad. I need to call my mom. Like I was like. Narratives about mothers and like self-sacrifice, especially when it comes to moms, like hurts my soul so much. And like Yasuku just telling this backstory, being like, yeah, your dad's a fucking fuck ass. I still thought he was hot. I still thought he was cool. I still see so much of him in you, but I'm glad you're not him. And I'm glad that even your grandparents, even after all this time, see what a good boy and what a good job I did raising you. And like, that's the most fulfilling thing as a parent. Like, oh my God, like it hurt my heart.
And yeah, because that you were saying that she didn't even know that she was doing a good job until her very critic of parents were on her. So when they told her like, "Hey, you did a good job raising him," it broke her. Yeah, and it feels nice. Yeah, it just feels validation, and validation is good.
And the also weird part is like the grandparents kind of accepted that Taiga is the fiance. Like they go around being like, "Hey, this is our grandson and his fiance Taiga." But that's where like I kind of get upset with the anime for a couple episodes, because like they spent all this time being like, "Holy shit!" Like they're together, like they're giving like confessions of love to the point of marriage, like they're gonna be together, but. They go back to town. They go back to their respective lives.
Because the eloping kind of failed.
It did. They never officially got married, but like the sweetest scene in the anime is in the grandparents' house. Taiga puts like this white bedsheet over her, a la a wedding veil. And it's just kind of like, if we're actually going to get married, we have to practice, right? So they practice kissing and telling each other their vows and like... It's super, super, like, childish, but it's, like, like the like the corniness that you expect from like a 16, 17-year-old.
I mean, it's something like we saw like in high school. Say like those high school sweethearts. Those
Yeah,
high
they're like,
school
oh, we're
sweethearts.
gonna end up together. We're
That
gonna be
they-
together forever.
That they get and then they do end up together. Because I know a couple of those, and they're still together. And it's like, hey, power to you, dog.
I think everyone I knew that was high school sweetheart like are like a toxic ass family right now.
I know at least two that they made it through the trenches, but they
Trenches is a good way to put it.
Yeah, I mean, they went through the entire thing about growing up.
Yep,
You know? And sometimes growing up entails being not being what is it called? Loyal to your to your
Hey, I want to believe Taiga and Ryuji are loyal to each other.
yeah.
So-
but it's crazy. I mean, it is something that when the anime is serving it to you as like these high school sweethearts are declaring their love for each other, it's kind of whack. It's kind of weird, whack to kind of believe it because it's kind of corny. But they go about it the most mature way. It's not easy to ignore.
In just that scene is so classic. Like Taiga is still being a fucking tsundere, is talking shit to Ryuji, being like, I want to kiss you to practice our vows, but it looks like your face would be really chapped and cold and not comfortable and like it wouldn't feel good. So he kisses her once and he's like, how's that? And then she's like, oh, that wasn't as bad as I thought. Kisses her again. How is that? And then they have like this actual like earnest, like she leans into him, closes her eyes. He grabs her. I do. He grabs her face. And like they kind of do have like a really childish kind of wedding night together kind of thing. And then that's the disappointing part is that like, so if I'm talking the last 5 episodes,
That's the last episode. I mean, that's episode
Like-
24.
that's like episode 23, I think. Because like, oh, is it?
No, it's episode 24 because the next episode is about him. As an audience, we believe that he got rejected.
Right. So they go back to town. Taiga goes to her apartment and is just kind of like, I'll meet you at home. She calls it home. The home that
She's been having dinner throughout this whole year.
Ryuji and his mom have, where she's the second daughter, all that. You know what I mean? Where her mother-in-law and her #husband live. Like, but she has to go deal with her mother. And she kind of just disappears the rest of the school year. It's the most depressing thing. Like, Ryuji never hears back from her. Well, until the last day of school. He's super sad about it. He, like, even at school, everyone's like, oh my God, you guys ran away together. That's so romantic. What happened? And even he's like, I don't know what happened. Like, she kind of told me she was going to go back to her mom and just never came back. And, like, all she does is she sends a singular picture of, like, the night sky to, like, all her classmates. And they're like, oh, my God, that means that she still sees hope and she sees them going to end up together. And, like, it's a super dramatic thing and nothing comes out of it until the very last scene of the very last episode is them.
Is it after the credits?
No. It's the very last scene before the credits roll is their year as a third year's end, right? So if Japanese school years are actually sensible in January through December, they eloped like in like February, sometime after Christmas, but not too far away. And after the ski trip, so somewhere around like January, February, something like that, they go the entire school year. This guy's basically single. He thought he had the love of his life and she just kind of disappeared. The last day of school, they're graduating as third years. They have their diplomas in hand. Even Ami's out here being like, well, I wish we could have ended up together, but I always knew that you were in love with Taiga, and that's why I was always so mean to you, and I told you someone was get hurt, because I was in love with you this whole time, and that's why I tried distancing myself from you, but you're such a nice, earnest guy. I'm glad that you finally found it, but I'm disappointed that she kind of blew you off too. He thinks he's having a delusion, because he looks up to where their homeroom classroom is, and sees who he thinks is Taiga. Runs up there, he opens the classroom door, and it's empty. But then he opens up like the janitor's closet, like the supply closet where the broom and the mop are, and sees her there. And she's like, hey, you stupid ugly face. I didn't want you to see me like this, but I missed you. And then they kiss again, and credits roll.
I missed that part, I believe.
But yeah, I'm led to believe that they end up together.
No, yeah, they definitely did.
So that's it hasn't aged as well as I would have liked. This is hands down the most popular romance anime ever, but feels kind of dated. I'm not saying it's bad. I had a decent time watching it, but
I feel if we want to put something modern up there with that, it will be Beastars. You know,
it would be Beastars because Beastars was hella dramatic and like that's what's
just
cool
heavy
about
all
it.
the time. It's just heavy all the time.
That's what's cool about Beastars.
Yeah. And it's nice because even when I was looking at Ryuji's character, this blue color haired tall brooding boy, it reminded me of
Legoshi.
You know?
Yeah.
And then Haru too was in there somehow.
It's good. It's good. If you're an anime fan that grew up with anime, you've probably already seen this, so this is news to you. But if you're getting into anime or if you're looking for anime recommendations because of this podcast,
I'll recommend
Horimiya. Yeah, watch Horimiya. You can if you want watch this, but
after Horimiya
for sure. Fuck, I don't know. I don't want to do a long nerd down. It's during the week, but we can just go over a couple things for this upcoming week if you want to discuss them really quick.
Absolutely, nerd down.
Nerd down.
Nerd down.
Nerd down.
Welcome to the Nerd Down when the nerds get down. Back at it again. Drew Philip Elias here. Back again with Aldo Mendez. At the beginning of this Nerd Down, we do want to go over our plugs again. Please use hashtag Nerds for Refugees in an original tweet, Instagram post, or YouTube comment to be entered into our March giveaway. For every like and retweet, we will be donating to the Hope Border Institute, a El Paso adjacent institute that helps refugees in the Ciudad Juarez, El Paso, and Las Cruces area.
All in good spirit to our Ukrainian refugee brothers and sisters.
Fuck the government of Russia.
Yeah, fuck fascists.
We understand that there's probably plenty of Russian citizens that want no part of this. Which I think it's really cool that there's been a lot of demonstrations in the biggest...
People have been getting arrested in Russia.
Yeah. The first night of demonstrations, 700 Russians were arrested.
700?
In the Moscow area for doing anti-war demonstrations. So, like, it's clearly not popular amongst the populace. It's just, just a bunch of fascists up there on the top of the government just making decisions. Yeah, so my heart goes out to Ukraine. I hope we can still talk about Ukraine being an independent nation once we record next week. Speaking of next week, during this week, we're finally away from the romance anime. We're taking a break from the romance anime.
February's over. It always feels right.
Honestly, this is the second year in a row we've done February romance rom-com stuff, and it's hit both times.
Because we need it.
We have not missed. You know what I mean? Like, last February, we were doing, like, Your Lie in April and, like, all these other crazy shits. That was excellent. We cried for 4 weeks straight. This week, we're a lot more mature podcasters now. We didn't cry nearly as much, just half of the episodes. But it was good. You know what I mean? We saw every facet of what it means to be a romance anime. We saw the extremes with Violet Evergarden, what it means to be like a post-war refugee.
The font style with Miss Kobayashi.
Yeah, we saw the modern classic that is Horimiya, and then we saw the early 2000s classic that is Toradora. So you know what I mean? We gave you everything for the month of February.
Too early for his age.
I think if it were to get another adaptation, I think the original author would need to rewrite a lot.
Absolutely,
of it.
everything. It was too early for its time, I believe, because
no, it was perfect for its time. It
wasn't because it does fall into the product of Haruhi Suzumiya.
Yeah.
But I feel like it has potential, if anything, to be rewritten into a more mature setting of, if anything.
Yeah.
But
fuck, I don't even. But what I was talking about,
because Toradora being a 25 episode run, this could get like the fucking Full Metal Alchemist treatment and turn it into a 12 episode. And I bet it will be something good.
You know what? Like, I don't want to do too long of a nerd down, but that reminds me of some anime news that came out yesterday.
That's all I want to say.
They announced a new anime adaptation of Spice and Wolf. Spice and Wolf is a 2008 rom-com fantasy anime that was being brought up to me a lot at TCG Battleground over at the Zaraplex over on Zaragoza Drive
Big
over
shout
in
out.
East El Paso. Shout out to Jacob Anuelos. We love you guys very much. But when I was like brainstorming animes for the month of February, Spice and Wolf was coming up a lot, and I've never watched Spice and Wolf. And apparently, the entire internet's very, very, very excited that Spice and Wolf is getting a second season of an anime or another adaptation. So maybe that's something we can get down to. But this upcoming week, we are watching season 3 of Yu Yu Hakusho. We're going to be having Roby Quintela back for his third encounter with us for season 3. I'm excited. I'm like halfway through, and I'm like excited.
So, I had brought this to you before about making March a sport theme month, since we like March Madness. I like basketball college, even though I don't do sports ball a lot. I do find myself watching college basketball sometimes more than anything.
I thought that was a great idea at the time, but we fucked up because we planned the whole month of March.
So now we already have that. But maybe for next year, guys, if we can hold on to making or revising this sports themed anime, we'll bring them to you next March.
Honestly, what I was going to tell you is we might as well just do April Madness. Like, just like we're being honest with our audience right now, we want to do March Madness, but we fucked up and got too excited and planned the whole.
Maybe next year will be on March.
Maybe next year it'll be in March, but I'm down for the month of April. We'll just call it April Madness. Like we'll make the donations to some kind of local sports organization, like a YMCA or something.
Let's fucking do it.
I'm
it already.
I'm down to watch what's
Haiku.
it called? Haiku. Some of the boxing ones we can.
You told me about
Megalobox. We can watch the swimming one.
Yeah,
there's several basketball ones that are fairly highly rated.
Absolutely, and I'm completely open to the idea, because if March is gonna be like a fun, because don't get me wrong, we're starting with Yu Yu Hakusho.
Well, March is us catching up with our friends, right?
Honestly, yeah.
So March, first week of April. First week of March. Season 3 of Yu Yu Hakusho with Roby Quintela. We miss Roby.
Yes,
he's a fun time. We miss having him around.
He hasn't been in the new podcast room. Now we're on video now.
He hasn't been here with us. We miss him very much. He's very active with us on Twitter. He's a dope dude. The second season may or may not have VNA Sosa. She just started a new job. She's got a whole ass kid.
Good luck, baby.
It's very sensible. But we'll at least have my girl Karen back to talk about season 3 of Attack on Titan.
Just finished.
The week after that, we're gonna watch the Anime Trending Awards winner of Anime of the Year, Fruits Basket, the final season. So we'll have Miss Rachel Eves back to talk about that, and then there was something for the 4th week, and I already forgot what it was. I don't know. I don't think we picked the 4th week, to be honest.
I don't think so, but it's gonna be something fun like that too.
Well, yeah, we'll have somebody back. I think CJ's off of timeout. We might have CJ back by then. I don't know yet, but I'm pretty sure we'll have a guest for week 4. We haven't decided yet. We might even double dip with Roby, because he's been trying to pressure us to watch Trigun for like a year and a half already.
Yes, and also we're getting close to our end of the second season. Holy fuck! So we have to start off our third season.
End of the third season. We're gonna start the 4th season.
So if
we have 30 episode seasons.
So we're
almost
84.
on episode 90. Yes.
Okay, so we're in 84. By the end of March, we could probably do the end of the season.
Oh fuck! That means we have to do our double recording session where we do the season 3 recap. Fuck! Oh my god! And then that's not even to talk about the episode 100 special that you want to do, where you want to live stream at least 5-6 hours.
If we can live stream, that'll be awesome.
Live stream 5-6 hours of D&D content, So I already,
and not just in D&D. We're gonna just be bullshitting, talking about nerd shit.
But we also
are gonna follow into the game,
right? So we I already recruited our DM, our dungeon master, for the 100th episode. I don't think you listened, but shout out to Lance Slack. He also is a local Yu-Gi-Oh patron. He plays Magic the Gathering. He's probably the best DM in town. So he's going to be DMing for us.
He's making a story for us.
He's going to be making a story for us, or I said I can buy it. Either or, I need to follow up with him. And yeah, There's a lot of stuff coming up. So that's already the next 2-3 months right there. That's
April Madness. I am excited for sports.
We'll make a whole list.
Next year, though, we'll definitely put it on March.
Madness. We'll do the March Madness. I promise.
It's just sports all day, all the time.
Yeah. There's plenty of content too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
We'll save season 2 of Megalobox for a whole year. Fuck it. But that might be it. I'm excited for the new Pokemon Generation 9 that got announced yesterday.
Scarlet and Violet.
It's based off of the Iberian Peninsula.
We just saw that shit going on.
I'm excited for the Batman's next weekend.
Elder Ring. Oh, I have tickets for Friday.
I'm watching Sunday, so we won't be able to talk about it the next Nerd Down. So I'm watching it Sunday. My bad.
No, it's okay. But yeah, we'll be talking about it next weekend.
Elden Ring looks dope. I finished Pokemon Arceus. Arceus. Apparently people are pressed about the pronunciation.
Arceus, because they know the word arc and they think that nothing can be
apparently
pronounced different.
Apparently that's the official pronunciation.
Really? Arceus?
Arceus.
Really?
But as a kid I always pronounce it Arceus.
Arceus. I mean, that sounds like it has some sort of like English law written into it. It's
Arceus. I don't know why.
Huh.
But apparently the official
salmon and salmonella, salmonella,
salmon.
Yeah.
Or yeah. It's like that. But that might be it. I don't know if you have anything else.
I don't have anything else. We are doing video again. I will be editing this tonight. Sound, everything by tomorrow morning for sure.
We love you, nerds. Please use the hashtag. Please don't disappoint us for a second month in a row.
Hashtag, what was the hashtag again?
Nerds for refugees.
Yes. And thank you, everybody, for liking us on YouTube. Please come and like and subscribe on YouTube. Also, use a hashtag in YouTube. We're going to give you access to the giveaway as well. On IG to Instagram. Just use it. Let us know what you think. Email us at betweennerdspodcast@gmail.com.
Hit us up on every social media handle, including YouTube at Between Nerds.
Anything. You say something, we'll talk about it here. If you guys want us to bring something up, we'll bring it up here.
We have access to the same Between Nerds email. Like, like we both check that shit all day. Although we'll send me a screenshot 30 seconds before I was going to check the email.
Crazy stuff. But please, YouTube, thank you very much for not putting down our video and giving us back our video on
the Violet Evergarden back up.
Our audio video for Violet Evergarden is up after 2 weeks. Damn, 15 days if anything.
Shout out to Ireland. We got like 30 downloads randomly from Ireland the other day. What I was telling Aldo is like what I think is happening is like it's one person from Ireland just like binging 30 episodes, which is probably good. That's better, if anything. It's like owning a bar, kind of. You know what I mean? Like you want those high roller kind of patrons that are going to drop like thousands of dollars.
Because honestly, dude,
all we expect is hundreds of downloads.
With Miss Ives' tweet, she was like, Eves. I'm sorry, Miss Rachel. With her tweet, she was like, "Hey, I'm gonna watch this anime they said they watched, and then I'm gonna listen to the episode."
Bro, that's all we ever wanted. That's all we ever wanted was for you to listen to our takes and be like, "That sounds like bullshit." I'm gonna reiterate that take by listening to the anime that they're talking about.
Exactly. So
that's all we ever wanted. And Rachel's like the only person to do that,
and to be vocal about it, or not vocal, but like to be expressive about it. And I was like, that's what we want. If you liked our take in your anime, or if you didn't like it, then watch the other anime that we're watching and listen to our take. And I'm sure you guys won't be what is it called? Disappointed. There it is.
So, again, one last time, use the hashtag, hit us up on social media, email us betweennerdspodcast@gmail.com. Please visit our friends at TCG Battleground over at the Zaraplex over on Zaragoza Drive over in Eastside El Paso. This has been Between
Nerds.
Bye.